This TikTok prankster is about to get thrown in prison for his recent content.
What tacos at the egg roll? Hey!
Sometimes you just have to laugh at people for being so worthless that this is what they give to society. This guy is like the newest addition to the current race to the bottom when it comes to influencers who will do anything for 30 seconds of attention on the internet, clearly going to the lengths of filming themselves committing crimes and completely disregarding everyone around him so he can just get his content. Essentially, he's routing thousands of dollars of equipment, causing potentially a massive dangerous mess for the employees. It's nighttime, so these employees likely just want to go home and sleep or be with their families, but instead, now they're forced to clean up this dangerous mess. And this is all because a waste of human space thinks his content is more important than the time of others. But obviously, he ran out before the outcome happened. So this is what actually happens when you put ice cubes in a fryer. The restaurant likely had to be evacuated, but what this guy is too stupid to realize, though, is he just filmed himself tampering with other people's food, which could be years in prison. And depending on what state he's in, he can get anywhere from a serious fine to 20 years in prison if that grease actually injured people. And he filmed himself doing so. So there's no question about if he did it or not. The upside, attention. The worst possible downside, 20 years of prison. What a terrible risk to reward ratio. Meanwhile, he puts the employees at risk. He probably raises the insurance rates for this location. I don't even think he realizes how much of a disaster this is for this location simply because he wanted some attention for TikTok. Wow. Well, this is far from his only horrible video.
You guys have a bathroom?
7287.
What can I get for you? Want a burrito? I got you.
This just gives me Mizzy vibes. It's like, wow, congratulations, you can also be a burden to society if you choose to. But Mizzy lived in the UK and he actually ended up spending months in jail. This guy's in the US. We're known for giving out a little bit harsher penalties here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to this guy. But what I hate about these people is for some reason they just love to harass minimum wage workers because in so many cases, they're extremely overworked and underpaid and they don't deserve this kind of treatment because society literally relies on them to function. So it's just beyond garbage that he's taken this out on them. But if you thought he was finished, apparently not. His entire page is a POV you're unemployed and want to stay unemployed because it's going to be really hard to obtain a job after this. But I guess to counter that point, there are people like Jumane who did this while working at Subway.
I don't know how I got to this point in my life.
And he somehow landed multiple jobs after that and also landed that Subway job after this video.
Friday, CVS. We don't support none of this right here. Get out of there.
So I guess people like Jumane give hope to this guy if you really aspire to be like Jumane. So I guess there is some hope for him job-wise when he gets out of prison, but it's a shame that these guys have just become burdens to society for some basic internet attention, because all of this guy's content is at random innocent people's expense.
I'm so sorry for scaring you.
Let them have cake. Oh, who knows?
This dude is such a coward, and his time is coming. It's a desperate attempt to cash in on being a burden to society. The only problem is there's no money in what he's doing. None of his videos are monetized. So the only upside is attention on the internet, with the downside being thrown in prison, or even worse, if he actually does this to the wrong person. There's nothing like filming yourself committing battery with a cake. I hope this guy sees this video, presses charges, and sues him. But his latest video is a bit of a pivot, as he's now claiming he committed arson for clout. So I actually did just delete this video before I could download it, but essentially someone threw like an improvised explosive device at someone's door at night in Arizona, and he's essentially claiming that he did it. This is his new way to gain clout. I don't believe he did this, because one would at least hope he's not this stupid, but I think this is like a pivot of, haha, look, I've done all these crazy things, so now I'm going to start taking or claiming that I did even crazier things, and people are going to believe it for clout. And then it's lower risk content for him because he doesn't have to go out and commit a felony. He's just claiming he did a felony. Naturally, people are just rooting for his downfall by telling him to make more and more of these videos. And he also came out today and said, hey, the ice in the fryer video, that's CGI. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even a first grader would realize that's complete BS, but clearly only Einstein can compete with his IQ levels. I don't know. It's just bottom of the barrel content. It is truly a race to the bottom. He's the TikToker equivalent of a lot of these IRL streamers. We've seen this play out multiple times. The content creator that's doing this kind of content either ends up in jail, prison, or not with us anymore because they end up meeting the wrong person. Or I guess the final option, or the best option for this creator, would be quitting while they're ahead and just trying to move on with their life, deleting their social media existence, because maybe that'll give them better odds of getting a decent job. Unfortunately though, because the internet has saved everything, those videos are going to be haunting him forever. One can only hope that this guy finds a more productive way to seek validation.